Ladies and gentlemen, RosterWatch Nation, welcome back to the epic RosterWatch Podcast, brought to you by RosterWatch.com. My name is Alex Dunlap here with the Trashman. Today we're going to be talking about a Dynasty Orphan team that Trashman has just taken over starting yesterday. We're also going to break down Zach Evans, the running back formerly of TCU, now of Ole Miss, or I guess formerly of Ole Miss, now NFL draft prospect, as we are now just 2 weeks out from day one of the NFL draft. Might be able to hit on Byron's rankings. Byron has input his rankings for the running backs of his top 18 running backs into our shared sheet here with the RosterWatch staff. Some definite
some curveballs.
Some definite curveballs. Maybe I'll ask Trashman what he thinks about some of these guys and how Byron has them sort of stacked up. But yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. Trashman and I will have our regular podcasts next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Then the Tuesday after that, the 25th, we'll have Byron on where we'll go over our complete pre-NFL draft rookie rankings for the running backs and the wide receivers. So our pro members at RosterWatch can have that whole sheet up and can follow along the draft with the guys that we kind of like best and see where they go, see what kind of draft capital they get, where their NFL landing spots are. And from there, of course, right after the NFL draft, usually that Sunday afterward, we'll have the Dynasty rookie cheat sheets up for standard 12-team league. Well, not standard, PPR 12-team leagues with one quarterback, and also the superflex and tight end premium cheat sheets. Trashman, the Dynasty Orphan team that you took over, is in Seige's league. It's a Dynasty Invitational league that our buddy Seige puts on. A lot of industry people in this thing.
Is his name actually Seige?
You know Seige, man. CJ, you know Seige. He works for who's he work for now? I forget who he works for. Does he work for Fantasy FTN, something like this? He used to be at Roto Grinders. I had the show with him over on Roto Grinders for so long. He's been on our radio show before.
Well, the name is just Seige, as in like to take something.
No, but it's spelled wrong.
I get that now.
It's spelled wrong for that. But Elliot Christ is in this league. Nixon from Framing Hanley's in this league. Trashman, of course. We have Ian Kenyon from Bleacher Report. Scott Barrett from Fantasy Points. Danny Kelly from The Ringer. I'm in the league. It's a pretty tough league, and Trashman took over a team that I feel like has some good pieces. Definitely needs a little bit of work though, because he didn't have a pick in this draft until pick 310. Now back up again I think Scott and Danny just went. And so now you're back up. You have the pick, the 401 and the 402 right now in the Dynasty rookie draft that's going on. We only found out that this league was an orphan during the rookie draft because the owner didn't. The owner, this is a true orphan because the owner unfortunately passed away. I don't know what happened with him, but none of us knew, and so like this guy was on the clock for 2-3 days and stuff like that. We had to do a little research, and
so everyone just found out.
Yeah. Well, and we're just right in the middle of the draft. So that's why I texted you last night. I'm like, Trashman, can you take this thing over? Like, it'll be free this year. And then, after that, hopefully you'll be up and running. But, so it's a super, and I want a Trashman in this league because I know Trashman, he takes care of our Dynasty rankings, oversees those. I do the quality control on them. But, I know the Trashman needs to be in more leagues that are superflex and tight end premium. So I want a Trashman in this league to get a little bit of that going. So the first thing I'll say, Trashman, is whenever you're getting rid of these free agents to make these rookie picks, even though I know that you hate Davis Mills and you think that he's about to get his job taken, you dropped Davis Mills to make one of your rookie picks, and I was like, Trashman, he's going to get picked up immediately in this league. I mean,
I thought initially when you told me that I was just thinking about the tight end premium part. I've forgotten that you had said it was a super flex.
Yeah. It's a bad drop. Just considering.
But I don't care. It's like this.
Just considering that you have Melvin Gordon, who's currently a free agent on this roster.
It's a trashy move. I didn't even make. I was just going down, and that was the first first name I saw that I was just like, I
my
don't
first
need this person.
my first
in my
tip for you
team.
in this league, dudes and girls. There's a girl in this league, Taylor. The people in this league, they hoard quarterbacks. I'm just looking here at there are teams that are holding on to like Kellen Mond and Teddy Bridgewater and let me
They
just
can
see some
hold
of the
on
others.
to him. Then I'll leave me a spot.
Bryce Perkins.
For
Somebody
somebody
has
that
Bryce Perkins in this league.
For somebody that I'll actually use.
Somebody's holding on to Case Keenum, who if nothing, if Houston decides that they're like, man, forget this. If we can't get Bryce Young, we're just gonna wait till next year. We're gonna punt it. We're gonna wait till next year. Davis Mills.
What do you mean if they can't get Bryce Young? They got one spot ahead of him.
What? Well, yeah, but now it's starting to look like.
You think Carolina's going to go for him?
I've always thought Carolina would, but now it's actually now the betting favorite. It's starting to look like it's actually going to be Bryce Young. I think when we got Cody in chat, whenever Cody and I get together to do our mock drafts right before I leave to go to KC to the player profiler house, I'm going to have Bryce Young as my number one overall pick. So
I think he should go first.
And so if they do, would you be that surprised, especially with the news that has come out today about that on Pro Football Talk, Michael Lombardi had said that he's expecting there to be organizational change there after this next year with Nick Caserio possibly being on the outs and him and D'Amico Ryans not, being a package deal together. It's like it could be that the ownership tells him, we're going to punt on quarterback. We're going to bring in a new GM and let him pick his quarterback next year. And hopefully, if they can tank hard enough, it'll be Caleb Williams. So I don't know, but just to me, it's like Davis Mills is like I saw him get dropped by you. I was like, ooh, buddy, I'm gonna go pick up Davis Mills if I can.
Go get him.
All right, so
it'll just be one less. Decision I'll have to make at quarterback that I don't want to make.
So we're going to talk about your rookie draft picks that you have up right now. You're on the clock right now. But the team, it's actually, it's actually good at the quarterback position. You have the number one player in the whole league, the best player in the whole league, because you have Josh Allen. You also have Kenny Pickett. And you also have Aaron Rodgers. So at quarterback, you're pretty well set. You're pretty well set there. This is a league where you start 10 players. You can only, and it doesn't matter who you start, right? It doesn't matter positions. You can start. It's just you can't start more than 2 quarterbacks. You can't start more than 2 tight ends because it's tight end premium. So you could go. If you needed to, you can go like 9 running back, one quarterback and 9 running backs or something if you wanted to. The only restraint on you is that you can't start more than 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. So it really in this league, I've noticed it really is about just I'm taking the best player that's available to me in these rookie drafts. I'm not going to be something where it's like I got to get my wide receiver core better. I got to get my running back core better. It's just about who's best. But I feel like you got good balance here. The team.
Well, I just don't know. I don't know enough about these rookie tight ends coming in.
Yeah. Well,
I know the guys we saw at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. All the best ones are gone.
Yeah.
Like it's like all these other guys are pretty. It's pretty brutal. So let's just go over the roster here. So the quarterbacks: Josh Allen, Kenny Pickett, Aaron Rodgers. The running backs are Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook. Then after that is Gus Ed. So those are the main guys. Jamal Williams, I guess, comes into play as sort of a guy that I'll bet you end up playing some. Same with Elijah Mitchell. Other than that, it's guys that are real flyer types like Gus Edwards, Melvin Gordon, Keontae Ingram, Deion Jackson, Zonovan Knight, Sincere McCormick, Keyshawn Vaughn, Darrell Williams.
Elijah Mitchell, don't forget.
Yep. The wide receivers similarly top heavy, it feels like. Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans. But then there's some guys, you kind of like Nico Collins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Michael Thomas. Who knows what that could kind of mean in this upcoming year. It's that wide receiver core is really not that bad. The thing is, I think with this dude is that he traded away his 1 and his 2 for 2024 to make the Stephon Diggs stuff happen. So but Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, I think I'm interested to hear from you. Do you think this is and then the tight ends. Look, with the tight end, you have a really good option in George Kittle. You have another pretty decent option in Taysom Hill, and another decent option in Dawson Knox. That's the thing where you might be able to start a couple of those guys, I think, every week, especially in a tight end premium setup. So I think it's a good enough team to where you could probably enter into some kind of productive struggle. My question for you would be, is Josh Allen just too much of a centerpiece for you to even think about moving? Like turning him into some kind of Josh Allen for, I don't know. So it's hard to even put it. It's hard to. He feels so unmovable. Josh Allen for like Deshaun Johnson for Deshaun Watson plus would you take Deshaun Watson plus a 2024 1 for Josh Allen?
I might.
What about Dak?
Not Dak. Hey, I'll take Jalen Hurts and somebody.
Well, no one's going to give you that. No one's going to give you the Jalen Hurts in a 1. Let me look at my team. So I think in this league, I'm pretty sure that Dak's one of my quarterbacks. Yeah, I got Dak, and I get
hurt by Dak too much in real life.
Yeah, you probably don't want to
have him on my fantasy team.
Well, I might be able to talk to you about it. Might be able to talk to you about some kind of trade for Josh Allen. Boy, would I love having Josh Allen and Joe Burrow.
Oh, you'd have both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, man, I definitely am going to be stuck picking at the end of these drafts as usual.
Making the rich richer. Hold on, let me see something.
You're up right now. You're on the clock.
Yeah, I was just seeing.
My question for you is: you took Jonathan Mingo. You took Jonathan Mingo over Michael Wilson.
I thought Michael Wilson was taken. I didn't see him in there. No,
Michael Wilson. You got to scroll all the way to the bottom. It's in alphabetical order. It's like I was sure Trashman's taking Michael Wilson here. So, yeah.
I didn't. I was looking at the average draft position, and I assumed that Wilson would be up there if he was available. But yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, on my fantasy league, for some reason, they don't have an ADP on. They have that weird 999 ADP on Michael Wilson.
I'll take him with my next pick then.
Well, okay. Well, you might as well make it. We're here on the show, and then you have another pick right after that. So let's talk over the possible options here. So at quarterback, there's not going to be anybody that even though it's super flex, the guys who are left are Stetson Bennett, who no, well, Malik Cunningham, no, Max Duggan, Jake Haener, Jaron Hall, these guys, Clayton Tune, Aiden O'Connell and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Byron got to see those guys at the Shrine game. We saw them at the combine. I'm not sure that any of these guys are worth taking, but it's not like these running backs are that much better. I would say with the running backs, I know we hated Chase Brown at the Senior Bowl, but
you hated Chase Brown a lot.
Yeah, I hated Chase Brown at the Senior Bowl, and I don't think he's going to be that good. But if you just look at the wisdom of crowd stuff, and if you look at his testing measurables, and also just his production profile in college, he's actually pretty good. Cody's asking what round it's in. We're in the 4th round of this rookie draft. It's a super flex tight end premium. There is no taxi squad.
I have back-to-back picks, so
like pretty deep rosters.
I can take Wilson.
Yeah, no. That I think you should just go ahead and take Wilson. But the running backs that are available are Chase Brown and Evan Hull, both guys who we saw at the Senior Bowl. Neither one I came away particularly impressed with, but both do have pretty good receiving chops. And
is this a 1 point? Is it 1 PPR?
Yeah. Yes. For running backs. I believe it's 1.5 PPR for tight ends and 1.5 per 10 yards.
I got to get rid of somebody first.
Well, get rid of Melvin Gordon. You just gonna hold on just in case he's still good.
I mean
okay.
Let me. Who else at the position? I mean, I could get rid of.
Let's just read off these players. Let's just read off the players. Just read them off, and I'll tell you who you can get rid of.
I mean, it was Deion Jackson. I think I can get rid of him.
You probably, dude. Do you know who you can get rid of? Is Sincere McCormick.
Really?
Yes. Don't you think?
I mean, I don't.
Maybe what about any of those scummy wide receivers you have? Like, isn't Ray McLeod or something on that team?
I already got rid of Ray. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get rid of Sincere.
Yeah, I mean, what are the chances that Sincere McCormick really hits at this point, especially with Zamir White ahead of him? And
fast forward 7 months.
Wouldn't that hurt? Because he actually was really good, man. He was actually really good in college, but it's that's I think we think of Sincere McCormick differently just because we're here in Central Texas and we got to kind of see the highlights on the local news and stuff. I'm not sure he's going to be a thing.
Yeah. Well, I took Wilson.
Okay, so basically you've added now Michael Wilson and Jonathan Mingo at the 3-4 turn of this league. I think that's excellent. I mean, there was the report today that came out with Cody actually sent it to me with Jim Nagy calling out this Twitter account called NFL. It's so messed up that there's a Twitter account called Rookie Watch. It's like, are you kidding me, man? But they tweeted out that they're talking about Mingo. They're talking about Mingo. There's been reports that Mingo could go early second round. You know, a lot of people are pretty infatuated with them. And Jim Nagy wrote back and he said he threw shade at this Twitter account and he said this is obviously like a repackaged and repurposed post, but what's being said here is actually true. It's something that I tweeted, or this is something that I've tweeted before, that teams are a lot more into Mingo than it seems like the media is and the kind of draft industrial complex is. So Jonathan Mingo is somebody who, I think we kind of even touched on it on the last podcast, Trashman, where I was like, man, have we really discussed that much about Jonathan Mingo being 6'2", 220 and running a 4.46 and only being 21? Well,
I think we talked about 21. I think we talked about Mingo before.
He's still 21, but he'll turn 22, I guess, during this next year.
I think we talked about him before the combine.
Right. Well, yeah, but we haven't gone back to say like, well, shit. I mean, we didn't project as more like a 4.58 kind of guy.
Yeah,
the guy ran a 4.46. We're like, is the question with Mingo? It was. Is he AJ Brown or is he Dontario Drummond? And I think the answer is, well, he's neither, but he's better than Drummond, right?
He looks to be
better. Fat. Oh God,
he definitely tested better.
Oh God, and his tape was better. He had a better week at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah,
Drummond was at the Senior Bowl, wasn't he? He was at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
You can hardly even remember it.
I remember Drummond just because he was an interesting.
Because it looked like he could be an AJ Brown, but he just wasn't. And I'm not saying Mingo's an AJ, but I think that Mingo's a guy who's going to be surging a little bit of dynasty boards and a guy that you got a good deal on. Michael Wilson, to be honest, I can't believe that you got him here, especially with Danny Kelly and Scott Barrett picking between your last pick and these last two, because I know that Danny at least has seemed like he's in the Michael Wilson. So
is Jake Henner still available?
You're not going to take fucking Hainer, are you?
I mean,
get rid of Mills and take Hainer. I mean, you really like Hainer that much?
I don't see a future. I mean, I've already gotten rid of Mills. I can't do anything about that.
Cody's saying to take Bagent.
I'm looking at
is
the
Bagent
quarterback position.
Even in the player pool?
Huh?
Where's Bagent? They don't even have Bagent in the player pool here unless somebody already took him.
I mean, I'm guessing somebody already took him.
Hold on, let's see. Oh, he's not in the player pool.
No.
But you want to take Bagent? I mean, you could probably text Seige and tell him that's who you want.
Do you think he's the next best available?
Well, no, I think he's the next Bailey Zappi.
You mean the next starting quarterback for the New England Patriots?
Look, of the guys who are available, can we talk about the guys who are available right now? The guys who are available right now at the running back position. So we talked about quarterback. If we put Bajan in there, we add him in, right? But I think that Chase Brown is interesting. I know we hate him, but at some point, everybody becomes a bit of a value. Evan Hull, to me, is kind of interesting.
I mean, Chase Brown and Hull, to me, are pretty much the same player.
Don't you like Kenny McIntosh?
Yeah.
He's still available.
I feel like I want somebody who's going to be an asset in passing situations.
Well, I think that would be Chase Brown.
I think that's Brown or Hull.
Eric Gray's still available. I mean, I know it feels kind of scummy, but Eric Gray, if you're talking about a guy that can catch passes, we know that's the case.
Yeah, he was better than Hull and Brown.
Yeah. And then, so the wide receivers that are still available, Ronnie Bell, no. Tank Dell, I can't do that. Dante Demas, absolutely not.
Your boy Xavier Hutchinson.
Xavier Hutchinson's available. I don't think that would be terrible. Andre Yosivach is still available. Raheem Jarrett, that's a no. CJ Johnson, I think CJ Johnson from ECU is actually really good, but the thing with him is he had towards the end of last season he had it was either a ruptured I forget what it was, a patellar tendon, something, or not a ruptured one, but some kind of injury to a patellar tendon. And when I hear that, it just kind of bothers me, especially for a guy that's pretty slow as it is. CJ Johnson's a little bit more of like an Anquan Bolden type of player. Charlie Football is still available. Trey Palmer is available.
Yeah.
So these are some good players.
Yeah.
Tyler Scott's available. People love Tyler Scott. I know you probably haven't done as much work on Tyler Scott, but people are into him.
What are they saying about him? What's the?
Well, let me pull up his combine testing.
I mean, right now, if I'm taking a receiver, I'm probably leaning Trey Palmer.
So I'm trying to pull up Tyler Scott's combine because I think that's what kind of might have been what got people excited. 4.44 in the 40, so that's good. That's good. It's just he's so small. 5'10", 177.
Woo.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
Where's he coming out of?
Productive. Tyler Scott from we didn't do the we didn't do Tyler Scott yet? No, he's in Cincinnati, but I thought we had him done. Let me see. Tyler Scott. Oh, we have not done him yet. 185. He came out actually. I think he weighed in 185 at the combine. 9-inch hands, 37/8-inch arms, 4.44. Early enrollee, pretty productive. 22% market share of team receptions, 28% market share of team receiving yards, 41% market share of team receiving touchdowns. So he was kind of like, one of the stars of the Cincinnati team after, they lost so many good players from the season before.
You like him better than Palmer?
No, man. Palmer's number one in Cody's dog rating.
No.
He's fast.
Yeah, he's really fast. I mean, I feel like I might take him
at this point in the draft. I think you're taking shots on the guys who you think could go big. And as I'm looking at let me just look here at the rookie rankings, just how I just want to look how I have these guys ranked. How like my rankings, if I've gone through them and I've done them, it will go of the available players. It will go Michael Wilson, Jonathan Mingo, Kayshawn Booty, who's been selected already, then Trey Palmer, and then Rashee Rice, who's been selected already, then Xavier Hutchinson, then Charlie Football, Charlie Jones from Purdue. So, dude, I mean, I think if you go wide receiver, the pick here is probably Trey Palmer.
So I'm thinking probably Trey Palmer if I'm going receiver, and Eric Gray if I'm going running back.
That's tough. You might need to take some time to think it over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's the rundown of Trashman's Dynasty Orphan. We'll be talking a lot on here about this, how he's going to plan to do it, if he's going to just break it all down and rebuild, whether he's going to try and win this year, what he's going to do. But definitely,
to me, it seems like a team that's built to win this year.
Well, it's built to possibly win if your rookie picks end up being okay, and everybody and if Diggs, Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, it comes back to some degree, and you need Saquon Barkley, and who's the other running back? Saquon, and who else you have that are like the top two?
Hold on.
You don't even know this team yet.
No.
Saquon
and Dalvin Cook.
And Dalvin, right? You need Dalvin to go to a good spot, or just do Dalvin things and not get hurt. I mean, it's asking a lot for this team to stay healthy. But you have Mike Evans too.
I'm thinking maybe I go running back at this next pick.
I think you could. I think you could do something with this team. I think you could do something with this team.
I think maybe I go running back at this next pick. I feel like I'm deeper at receiver than I am at running back. I feel like after Barkley and Cook, I kind of fall off a cliff at running back.
Yeah, man. I would definitely agree. But hey, dude,
Jamal Williams, I guess will be fine.
Before you do that, I would just go watch a little bit, because like our evals of Chase Brown, they all came from right after the Senior Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And we had that really weighing on us. I'll just tell you this: I did some work this week on for just a completely different thing that I was doing for a possible for a kid that entered the transfer portal from Minnesota, this defensive lineman Trill Carter, and I watched back his game on all 22 versus Illinois, and I'm just like, geez, man, Chase Brown. It's like Chase, like, just go watch back just a little bit of Chase Brown, and I would just go see. I moved him up in my personal rankings after that, because I just felt like I had such a bad taste in my mouth from that Senior Bowl eval on him. I think he
probably wasn't as bad as Hull, I don't think, or was it the other way around?
No, Hull looked Chase Brown was the one that looked absolutely miserable. Hull actually looked kind of okay.
Hull was he from Northwestern?
So Chase Brown is Illinois, and then Evan Hull is Northwestern. So
okay, yeah, that's Illinois. Right. The Northwestern guy looked better.
Yeah. Yeah, but he did. I mean, but Evan Hull, dude, I mean, it's 5'10", 214, and I forgot that he ran a 4.47.
Yeah,
it's just that Chase Brown's 215. He ran a 4.43, and I mean, actually, they were actually pretty well. They're pretty. I mean, much the same production.
Brown looked like he had stone hands out there.
Yeah, but it's still. I mean, he caught 27 balls. Chase Brown caught 27 footballs last year. Was good for a 10% market share. Evan Hull caught 55 balls last year, a 22% market share for him. Christ. And you know what else? Everybody who was the Northwestern tackle, what's his name? Peter Skoronski, right? He's going to be one of the first offensive linemen off the board. You know that so many, with all the eyeballs on that program doing the scouting of Skoronski, all kinds of scouts got to side scout Evan Hull, right? And those are the kind of guys in those situations that go a little bit higher than you might think.
I mean, based off the Senior Bowl and what you're telling me about, these passing statistics, Hull looks like he might be a better.
Do we need to move up Evan Hull above Eric Gray? After that terrible 40 time?
I'll watch some video.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll need to shake that up a little. We'll need to shake that. Did Byron rank Evan Hull? I don't think Byron ranked him. No, Byron didn't rank it. Byron ranked some of these guys, like all these guys he likes from the Shrine Game, like Tavion Thomas and stuff like this from Utah. This dude who weighs 240 pounds. So we won't have a ranking from him on Evan Hull, but I think we need to have Hull at this point. I think maybe above Gray, and like just Chase Brown. Chase Brown maybe 2. I'm going to watch a little bit more about him. I think our evals on those guys need to get a little bit updated. It feels like we just kind of left the Senior Bowl and it's been out of sight, out of mind. We haven't taken into.
I mean, based off of the Senior Bowl, it was Gray, Hull, and Brown in that order. But
yeah, but there's been testing since then, and there've been there've been some revelations sort of since then as we've watched some film and stuff. So Cody's saying that they have Hull at 13. Brown at 15 and Gray at 19. Christ. Well, I have too much Eric Gray in that early.
Gray was one of the better looking backs at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. No, it was like yes. It was Roschon Johnson. It was Eric Gray. It was Tyjae Spears. They felt like they were in class sort of on their own, with Evan Hull being sort of in that next sort of kind of half tier down.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of these running backs, let's just talk quickly about Zach Evans. I didn't get to watch him much, but I have had a lot of exposure to him just as a dude that grew up, not me, but Zach Evans was a guy who grew up in the Houston area, a guy that I saw at a bunch of different high school camps coming out. He was recruited by a lot of programs here in Texas, actually ended up going to TCU. I remember the first
recruit.
Yeah, I remember the first time. Yeah, man. There was, as hard as it is to believe, Zach Evans came out in the same year as Bijan Robinson, and there were discussions on Texas football message boards about who's better.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's just true. That's just true. As strange as it sounds. Now, it reminds me of the stuff that used to go on between, I guess, offensive linemen people don't care about. But I remember the same year that, what's his name, Kenyon Green came out. Now he's a Houston Texan. He went to A&M. But there was him and there was Tyler Johnson, right? And Tyler Johnson, he went to Texas and he transferred out. I don't even know what he's doing now. But it feels to me like one of those things you look back and you say, how can that be right? But it really was true that's the conversation that people were having. I remember when I first met him, the first thing I remember was I met him, I introduced myself, shook his hand. He has the biggest hands of any damn running back I've ever.
He's got the biggest hands of any running back in this draft class. I mean, bigger hands than
what is his hand
maybe
size?
Any wide receiver, huh?
What is his hand size?
10 1/4.
10 1/4. Is that really right? 10 1/4. Jesus Christ. 10 1/4 inch hands for Zach Evans. Yeah, just banana bushel hands, 4.55 in the 40. Not very productive though. From a statistical standpoint, this last year at Ole Miss, 24% of team rushes, only 5% of team receptions, 16% of team total scrimmage yards, 18% of total team touchdowns. So if you look at his total touchdown percentage or his total production percentage that we have at RosterWatch that we use, basically out of all the guys at the combine, the only players who were less productive within the context of their own offenses this last year were Cameron Peoples, Tyon Evans, Tavion Thomas, Roschon Johnson, who we know was we can explain that one, Sir Roderick Thompson, and then we have Zach Evans. So bottom 5 out of 26 of these guys, bottom 6 out of 26 of these guys, as far as the overall production. What did you see on tape? Whenever I watch Zach Evans, I see a guy who is maybe fast enough to break the big run every now and then. Not particularly great vision. I think that this is a running back class of guys who we've talked about. A lot of these guys who are really elusive, really good at forcing missed tackles, right? Your Roschon Johnsons, your Bijan Robinsons, your Kendre Millers, your Zach Charbonnets, these types of players, right?
Yeah.
Even to a certain degree, we talked about who was it that was Abanacanda's like that. Tank Bigsby to a certain degree is like that. Even A-Chain, whenever you watch him, is kind of like that with the elusiveness. I'm not sure that I see a guy that everybody was just absolutely sure was going to be an NFL stud with his, with his agility, with his high school testing and all these camps and stuff like that. To me, I look at him and I'm like, man, I can squint and I can see it. He looks like a committee back to me at the NFL level. He's got the requisite size. I think he could step in and play if you needed him to play. But I'm not sure he's going to be a guy that walks into an NFL locker room and the team says, "All right, this is dude who fits immediately, plug and play into our offense. We're gonna not build the offense around him, but we're fine should we need to build the offense around him. We think that he's certainly above replacement level."
Well, that's what that's basically what I wrote about him. All the things that you said, except for I do think he has pretty good vision. But I said that I don't see him like finding himself in a starter's role, or forcing his way into a starter's role. But I do see him potentially finding himself in a starter's role due to injury or something of that nature, and then being consistent enough to hold on to it. He's got a physical yet fluid running style, which I like that aspect of him. He's got good contact balance, got good hip wiggle and agility. He's pretty decisive with the ball in his hands. He's got good burst. He falls forward at the end of the runs. One of the main things I notice about him. But like you said, like he's got these huge hands, but he's got minimal involvement in the passing game. And, he's a powerful runner, but he doesn't always use his play strength. I mean, he gets taken down on a solid hits, more often than I'd like to see. And he's got ball security issues. I think he had 3 fumbles in 2022. But I think he's a decent back. He's a decent all-around back. I would like to see him involved more in the passing game, especially with, those huge hands. He's an effective, if not particularly skilled blocker. So I think he could work his way onto, playing in third downs if he had a 2-down role.
Why is he so scared of Kendre Miller? Why does he got to transfer out of TCU?
I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't getting. I don't. Maybe he's not quite as explosive as a Kendre Miller. I mean, Kendre Miller is one of our top backs.
Byron has Kendre Miller as his number 2 back in the class.
Yeah, I mean he's a really good back.
Yeah. People don't realize.
I don't hate Evans. Yeah. I think he's serviceable. I think he's somebody. If you do put him back there, I don't think he's gonna hurt you necessarily. I see him. Well, I compared him to Ronald Jones.
I think that's fine. I think that's good.
I mean, and if you know how we feel about Ronald Jones, then that pretty much says everything.
Ronald Jones was a guy who we said maybe we had this same kind of conversation about him. We said if he gets the opportunity, maybe he can do something. Maybe he can. I'm not saying it isn't like these other dudes who you say like what if Bijan Robinson, they're going to build an offense around Bijan, right?
Yeah.
That if Roschon Johnson gets in there, he's going to be a good guy. At least he's going to fall forward. He's not going to do anything that's damaging to the offense, right? You can see the same thing for Charbonnet, Kendre Miller, a lot of these types of players. My question for you is if Zach and just this is the big question, and we'll just bring it full circle here. You have this pick that you're about to have to make in this dynasty rookie draft for this orphan team that you took over. If Zach Evans was available as the running back right now, would you go ahead and take him over this Evan Hull, Chase Brown, Eric Gray decision that you're mulling over?
Just based on his pedigree, I might.